Mabrika. Welcome, Soul Tribe, to this episode of Deep Soul Awakenings. Get ready to step into a place of visibility where your heart and intuition are your guides.
What's up, Soul Tribe? Welcome to this episode of Deep Soul Awakenings. I am your host, Millie Franco. I feel like every time I record an episode, it starts with me apologizing for being so sporadic in recording episodes. So I won't apologize this time. Um, Instead, I'll say that I'm happy to be in this space with all of you and to hold space for all of you and to have you all hold space for me when I do post and when I do come on. And I'm thankful for all of you who continuously tune in and give me beautiful feedback, and who join me on this journey and I join them. It's an honor to hold space for all of you, to be held space for. I don't know if I said that right or if that makes sense, but I hope you understand. um, I've actually been pretty sick. I went on vacation with my boys. We had a pretty good time, and then I caught the flu, and then I was sick. And before that, I was kind of in a funk. Um, and I've been just sitting today and thinking, and I felt pushed to come on and just talk about that, you know, the other side of healing, where it's not all rainbows and unicorns, but is it really ever? Um, Sometimes it's okay not to be okay. We all go on these journeys and we see the perception, the perspective of healing journeys on like things like social media and places like that. And we see these people who make it seem like if it's easy in a sense, or as if it's linear and there are no bad days once you've healed. And I'm here to say that that's not true. We've spoken before about dark nights of the soul, and I won't lie to any of you, they're pretty consistent on spiritual journeys. Dark nights of the soul to me are moments where things are brought to the surface for you to acknowledge and feel, process. And with that, to me, comes many, many little deaths. Before I went on vacation, I went through 2 weeks of just feeling really shitty, feeling bad for myself. Sometimes life, raising 2 kids, working 9 to 5, trying to figure out how to be of service, how to show up in the community. It's not easy sometimes, and you go into these dark places where you question your self-worth, and you question everything that you're doing, you question your relationships. And I actually had a moment where I was working with someone and working with this person, they were the unhealed version of me. They are who I would have become had I not come on this healing journey and held myself accountable and pushed myself every day to do the work. And it was really triggering for me and put me into a dark place, and it brought me back to places that I hadn't been in years. And while I was in it, it was hard to see the bright side of it. But now that I'm outside of it, I see the purpose in it, and I'm grateful for it because it's also a beautiful reminder of how far I've come. And on this journey, I never want to forget all of my experiences and everything that I have been through, because they are what makes all of this worthwhile. They are me. They are a part of me. They have helped to shape and mold me. And I would not be this person that I am had I not experienced everything I have, trauma and beautiful moments and everything in between. But I say that to say that in this journey, We have ups and downs, and some days are easy and some days are not. For those of us who are overcoming addictions or have overcome addictions, there are going to be moments where you want to fall back into that. If you're a drinker and you want to go back to the drinking, you tell yourself that it's okay to just have one drink, and you worry about becoming that person that you used to be. For me, drinking was a complete addiction. I remember I would be sitting every day and drinking by myself and telling myself that it was okay because it was just a couple beers or it was just a few cups of alcohol or whatever the case may be, whatever I needed to feel better at the time. And on vacation, I was feeling kind of down, and I told myself, oh, yeah, it's okay for me to just have a drink or two. It's fine. Like, I'm not a drinker anymore. Fully knowing that there was a chance that I could go back to drinking again and I could go back to self-medicating again. But, I convinced myself otherwise. So I allowed myself to have a drink here and there. And I'm glad I did, because it made me realize that that's not who I am anymore. And that's not one of my vices. And that's not one of my comforts anymore. And the drinking is not something that I enjoy anymore. And it was empowering in the sense that, it really let me know that I've changed and that I've grown as a person and that I'm stronger than the addictions that once held me. And I know for a lot of people overcoming addiction, especially when it comes to drugs, um, it's not possible to have that test of, well, let me have a little bit and see what happens, because there are things that are so addictive that all it takes is once. And I'm not telling any of you to test yourself at all. In fact, I am telling you not to. But what I am saying is that just maybe you are not that person anymore. And while there is the fear of using, of drinking, or going back to the ways that you self-medicated and self-soothed before, because we are human. And for a lot of us, we've grown up in trauma. And when things get hard, our trauma response is to want to go back to the way that we self-soothe. But just know that it is possible that while that may be your first reaction, it doesn't mean that it is who you are anymore. Because the fact that you don't want to use and that you are aware of it and that you fight with everything in your being not to do it shows how much you've changed and shows how much you've grown, because the person that you were wouldn't have second guessed it and would have just went straight forward with it without caring about the repercussions or consequences or anything. So, kudos to all of you. Love to all of you who are fighting the good fight. Just remember to give yourself credit for how far you've come and all the beautiful changes that you've made. On this journey, I feel like I consistently go through ego deaths and small little deaths that change me. I know I had mentioned before that something that I had asked for during ceremony was sovereignty. And at the moment, I felt like I had such a good understanding of what sovereignty was. And I was so ready to take control of my thoughts. And, my spirits, they teach me, so they show me how not to get lost in them. But it's always easier said than done. It always takes so much more work than what we anticipate to do all of these things. And, before I came out on the other side, it got very dark. I was overcome with all of the conditioned thoughts. I was overcome with all of the pressures. I was overcome with every aspect of what I thought I was supposed to be because society tells me so. And now I am in a place where I am thinking to myself, is this something that I really want to do? Is this the person that I really want to be? Because, for me, I grew up with having to allow people to have access to me, thinking that everyone always had to have access because I was taught to give access. And being someone who works with other people, who holds space for other people, I have learned that, even in those aspects, no one needs to have continuous access to me, not even my children. And if there is someone in your life, no matter how much you love them, that comes around and brings you to a place where you don't want to be, you don't have to be around them and you don't have to give them access to you. You don't have to let them bring you back to a place that you've outgrown or no longer wish to be. Healing is literally like peeling back those layers of an onion. When you overcome something or you think that you've healed something, it comes back at a later time and it comes back more intensely and more deeply because now you are ready to kind of peel away another level of that healing. And for me, my mom passed away and I thought that I was okay with it. And then lately, I've been thinking about her more and more and thinking about how much I miss her and how many different aspects of life we never got to share together, and how my sons will never know her in the ways that, my other nieces and nephews were able to know her and love her. And just also the things that you'll never see. Like, I want to get married in the future and I want to have my divine union and my relationship and it be beautiful. And it's something that she'll never get to experience with me physically. And I thought I was okay with that, but the more I grow and I learned that it's okay to be sad sometimes that I won't get to experience it with her. But then it also gives me gratitude for those people that I have around me that wish to be around me and want to experience these things with me. But in all of that, it's okay to mourn the person that you were, to mourn the life that you thought that you would have had. It's okay to be scared of change as long as you don't let that fear stop the change. There's so many people that I love and so many people that I come across who, you know, stay stuck in situations and comfortable chaos because that's what they're used to, because that's what they tell themselves that they have to do. And, for those people that I have that are around me, they're mirrors. So they are also people who help others to the best of their ability, a lot of times at the sacrifice of themselves, who continuously give and give and give to others. And, sometimes when I ask them, well, what makes you happy? And what is it that you want it to do with your life that will be fulfilling for you? It always has to do with others. And at the end of the day, when you take that away, the aspect of others, the aspect of being there for other people, and take into account the aspect of being there for yourself, the answer that I always get of what makes somebody happy is being able to be creative, being able to create something, some aspect of something. And I mean, as humans, as beings, as creators, it makes sense to me. We all want to create, to be free. I'm in the same boat. This podcast for me is to share wisdom, to share my voice, share my story with all of you, but also a source of creation for me where I get to create something in this world that is an imprint of the love that I am, that is an imprint of wisdom, that speaks to honor my ancestors and my guides, my spirits, and all the beautiful things that they have taught me, to honor them as well. I recently started offering a class that I'm horrible at promoting because I don't know, I don't like to promote things. It's not my forte. It's not something that I enjoy very much. But someone once told me that in order to do these type of things, you have to love every part of it. And in the creation of it, I always love it. It's a 7-week class on just setting a foundation of the things that you can do to create a relationship to spirit, in creating a relationship to spirit, creating a relationship to yourself, where you begin to sit with yourself and connect with your heart and speak the words that you hold on your heart. And I brought it to the forefront, and I brought it to everyone because I feel like these are the things that I have done that completely transformed and changed my life. And at any time that I find myself in darkness, I go back to these things and I run this ritual again, and I follow these things week by week, and always by the end of those 7 weeks, I've found myself again. So to me, it is my way of being of service to all of you, to lend a hand, to be a guide, to show all of you that you can take your bowls of light and empty all of those rocks that you've been holding that keep you stagnant. I know that all of this isn't easy, and I know that change is scary. But for a lot of us, unless we got to the point where we felt so uncomfortable that we had no choice but to change would have never happened. And I know sometimes we have our tower moments where we feel like life is against us and everything is falling down. But those moments happen in order to create change so that we can move from the comfortable chaos that we find ourselves in. Because all of us, as creators, as people, as spirits, as beings, as the love that we are all powerful in so many different ways. We are all capable. We just tend to get caught in this matrix, in this 3D life sometimes, where we think that all of these things that we should be and all of these pressures that society puts on us is the only way to be, because we have to fulfill these ideals. But I have learned in all of this that there is no ideal to fill. And all of this, I just want to be happy. I just want to be me. I just want to create. I just want to be free and have the freedom for my thoughts to be my own, for my life to be my own, and for me to choose what it is that I live for, not to be told what it is that I need to live for. So I just wanted to come on today and speak to all of you briefly, tell you what's been going on, tell you what's been on my mind, to say that all of you are capable of change. All of you are capable of creation. All of you are creative. You're capable of beauty. You are capable of leading beautiful lives and surprising yourself with just how amazing you are. The world can only speak to you with kindness in the ways that you speak to yourself. So let yourself be the starting point for changing the way that you speak things into existence, that you speak to yourself, that you hold yourself as sacred. Change starts within you. There is no change, there is no healing, there is no beauty, no real beauty in this world that does not come from within you, that is not part of you, that is not a reflection of you, a mirror. And the people that you meet that light up your life, and the people that you meet that light up rooms, you hold that same beauty. You hold that same light. It is just being reflected back to you. And in everything that you've been through, and sharing your voice and sharing your story, you get to contribute to the way that the world will change, to the way that things will shift and ascend. Because your story and your journey is inspiring. Because there are so many others that live it too, that are experiencing a lot of the same things, that are in the places that you've been, that need to know that it's possible to come out of them, and can only hear it from you with resonance. And I think that's pretty much all that I wanted to come on and say. Besides that, I love all of you, and I can say with certainty that I love all of you. Because I know that all of you who tune in and who listen are reflections of me and of the beauty and kindness that I hold in my heart. So I say to you all to continue to build your relationships with yourself, continue to speak to your ancestors and your guides, your inner child, your higher self. For those of you who are starseeds like me, I invite you to stop concentrating on the aspect of being a starseed and allow yourself to fully experience life in this body, in this existence, in this lifetime, for everything that it has to offer. Because what are we here? Are we not here to just truly experience life and experience the journey in itself? Are we not life experiencing itself? The Great Spirit, the Creator, experiencing itself in various forms. But always remember that in any instances where you feel lost, in the moments that you cannot find your way home, you can always look up to the stars, and your ancestors will guide you home. Till next time, guys. I love you all so much. Peace.
Ari Kamabu, thank you for listening to this episode. We look forward to continuing to find our way back to indigeneity with all of you. May your heart continue to be your guide. And remember that whenever you feel lost, you can look to the stars, and your ancestors will help you find your way back home.